All right, so that evidence is expected to continue in just about 5 minutes' time. Kenny Mapanga is our senior reporter, live to us now from the Bridget Mabandla Justice College in Pretoria. And Kenny, at some stage, the commission was made privy to an audio recording of a conversation purportedly between Sibiya and General Senthumule. Take us through why that's relevant.
Indeed. Good morning to you, Ayanda, and to the viewers once again. It seems that Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya is not holding back in his defense, and he seeks to not only discuss his defense, but rather bring up some kind of conduct from his counterparts that he wants to place before the commission. Why that audio recording becomes relevant is because it's in response to General Senthumule's stance. She appeared during phase 1 of the evidence, and you may remember that she was speaking quite candidly about the PKTT and how she would not have endorsed the disbandment of the political killings task team. And essentially what she was stating is that she was in support of their work continuing, and seemingly came in that batch of evidence that seemingly appeared to support the irregularity of the process that was taking place in the disbandment, and then of course the sentiments that were shared by General Mkhwanazi and of course General Fani Masemola about the PKTT and the subsequent actions that followed it. But what he seeks to advance before the commission, that his conversation with her was very different to what the testimony was before the commission. He seeks to advance before the commission that she actually held a different view, not only about the PKTT and the allegations that seem to always follow this task team during this whole debacle of it being disbanded, and the discourse that has come up about the work of the PKTT as opposite to what we're hearing from the commission. And then of course she had some choice words or sentiments or statements that she was sharing in that audio recording about General Masemola and then of course General Mkhwanazi. What that seeks to do is not only discredit her testimony and whether or not it can be reliable before the commission's bench, but it provides a different viewpoint on the sentiments shared within the high-ranking SAP structure about this particular PKTT that had been disbanded. And of course he's accused of playing a critical role not only in the disbandment but then rushing for that implementation in order to allegedly shield those criminal cartels from accountability. He obviously seems from the witness stand to be aggrieved by Senthumule's testimony and is fighting back against those claims, even touching other areas which seemingly don't find any meaning in the commission, because he didn't finish his thought with respect to that BBL evidence that was brought up in multiple testimony before the Madlanga Commission. You heard him mentioning that in regards to General Senthumule, and then it's now raising questions because he didn't finish his thought. Was he alleging that the alleged cartel member Vusumuzi Kat Matlala allegedly paid for the BBL of General Senthumule, or is he just placing it out there for other purposes? Because this also relates to Brigadier Macheng, because she teased when she spoke about her Ozempic evidence that quote-unquote at least she didn't get a BBL, and when she was asked to qualify that statement she was a bit coy about what she was talking about. But now with him mentioning this BBL term again and attributing it to General Senthumule, it raises questions as to what that possible inference could be that he was trying to make before the commission. But he is fighting back strong against these claims, bringing other elements that are not in the particular statement. And of course the legal team is now sorting out that issue, and you can hear behind me there's a significant delay that's going to follow, because a lot of these issues that he's bringing out before the commission are not in the statement directly but are add-ons he seeks to address to elaborate on the issues, or rather his defense to the various allegations, whether it be Witness F, whether it is the PKTT itself, or the statements shared by different high-ranking SAPS officials, even extending to Lieutenant General Dumsani Khumalo, where he accuses him of using particular evidence in a particular manner to frame him as a certain individual, or to allegedly create associations, particularly with that of Witness F.
fact, Kenny, whilst we, I suppose, wait for the commissioners to hopefully get back to their seats sooner than later, let's take our viewer back to that moment where General Sibiya mentions General Senthumule. Take a listen.
General Senthumule said to the commissioners in her testimony here that I was paranoid that I'm being investigated all the time. Now, what happened? And she said her gadgets were taken by the Hawks, her gadgets were taken by IPIT. What actually happened is that I applied to have a security threat assessment conducted for me because of the work that I was doing, especially coming back from the city of Joburg, where I had protectors due to the high level of corruption, the work that I was doing that side, and she rejected it. At that time, as I came in, I reported under her. Now she rejected it.
So she rejected what exactly?
My request. She disapproved it. The National Commissioner called her and said, but you can do it, because even myself, when I was there, at this level, I had protection. And then she said, she wrote there, I've got paperwork, and I think I attached it. She said, I need a policy that says I can do it. This is what she said. After quite some time, weeks later, I get a call from Department of Finance. Department of Finance is saying, General, we keep on getting these overtime claims about people that are bodyguarding you. Do you have protectors? I say, no, I don't have bodyguards. He said, but we've got this paperwork with her signature and staff officer's signature claiming overtime for me, for the protectors that are protecting me. People that I've never seen, their names are there, I know them, I've seen them. I've never met those people even to date. I have paperwork where overtime was paid, where paperwork was signed by her.
Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya a short while ago essentially making all manner of allegations against General Senthumule. Kenny Mapanga is still with us at the Bridget Mabandla Justice College. And Kenny, I suppose it's at this stage that the chairperson kind of, cautioned, shall we say, the witness about deviating away from his statement, raising questions about whether or not some of the issues that are being raised are perhaps HR issues and not necessarily relevant for this inquiry.
Indeed, because the clip you just played speaks to the allegation that he was allegedly paranoid about counterintelligence investigations into these alleged cartel members and with the support of the PKTT. But the context of that particular evidence, which came out during General Senthumule's evidence during phase 1, is that there was a text message that was displayed or projected onto the screen here at the Madlanga Commission, where General Senthumule is in conversation with Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya, and he is stating to her that Kumalo, with the PKTT's assistance, are quote-unquote investigating me. She was then probed on that particular text message, which is when she then answered that perhaps he was paranoid about what they were conducting. However, the response that he gives before the commission now doesn't actually deal with the contents of that said text message as to answering the question as to why he, as a high-ranking SABC official that has nothing to do with the investigation into alleged cartel members such as Katiso Katie Molefe and Vusimuzi Kat Matlala, would be quote-unquote paranoid about what counterintelligence and PKTT is conducting in terms of investigations to that effect. Why would that be something that makes him uneasy, if you could put it that way? Instead of answering that particular question, he brings up several other allegations relating to General Senthumule that don't really deal with the allegation, but could be argued are quite relevant to the work of the commission, because he's alleging here that the manager had submitted false claims in his name for bodyguard or protectors that he seemingly didn't have. So it may be a concern that he is raising. However, the question is, what is the relevance in the context of this probe? Let's continue to take a listen to the remainder of that testimony.